Welcome back to Okra. In this second part of our 4-part series on caregiver burden, we begin to delve into the many varied emotions caregivers feel every day. Other caregivers may give you the impression that they can cope much better than you, may make you feel guilty that you haven't stepped up to your own expectations, or expectations others may have for you. Always remember that it's all right to make mistakes. No one can get it right all the time. There is no such thing as the perfect caregiver, and it's important not to be too hard on yourself. Many caregivers may feel bad about how they treated the person before the diagnosis of Alzheimer's. You may have reacted with frustration, annoyance, irritation, or criticism. You may feel that you wish you spent more time with the person when they were well. Everyone, at one point or the other, tends to get frustrated with their partner or family members from time to time. You didn't know that your loved one will have dementia, or you could have foreseen the future. There are times that you may feel that you don't even like the person you are caring for, let alone love them. You may feel embarrassed or disgusted by their behavior. You may sometimes want to walk away from your responsibilities or even wish that the person was dead. You may worry that you only care due to the sense of responsibility because of their helplessness and vulnerability. These feelings are common and quite normal, but could be difficult to accept, and this may lead to shame and guilt. You can't help or control how you feel about the person, but you can control your response to those feelings. Try not to judge yourself. Admit the feelings. Share it with someone that you trust. It could help you overcome your guilt. By being for the individual as a caregiver itself is a huge responsibility and sacrifice on your part. Anger and frustration may occasionally lead to angry outbursts towards the person you are caring for. Many caregivers find it hard to forgive themselves in this situation. Caring can be very stressful, and anger or frustration are natural in this situation. Find other avenues to channel your irritation away from the person. Stepping aside and taking a deep breath will help. Giving yourself a timeout is one way to prevent any outbursts. Identify and recognize triggers that lead to frustration and anger. Develop strategies to diffuse the tension or get extra support. If you feel you're about to react, try leaving the room. No matter what we do for a living, we all need a break. Break from our day-to-day, regular work or vocational life. We need time to rest, reset, and reformat. Taking time to yourself may make you feel guilty, especially when you enjoy things that you used to share with the person you care for. You may feel disloyal. Now and again, it's very important for caregivers to enjoy some time away from their caring role. Many caregivers find that giving themselves time apart and doing things that make them feel happy and positive makes them productive and effective in their role. This also could improve their relationship with the person they care for. The history of your relationship with the person you care for may have a big impact on how you respond to them in your current situation. If the person was critical of you or made you feel inadequate in the past, you may feel even more anxious about not getting things right. Many caregivers feel guilty that there are so many unresolved aspects of their relationship with the person that they are caring for and have deep regrets that it now feels too late to sort them out. If you are experiencing these feelings, allow them to surface rather than bottling them up and explore ways to relieve the tension. For example, by talking them through with someone. Try to become aware of how these feelings make you respond. For example, do you push yourself too hard to compensate in some ways for the past? Many caregivers feel that they should be able to manage without any help. You may worry that the person with Alzheimer's will be distressed if you are not there all the time. Looking after a person with Alzheimer's can be exhausting. Accepting respite care, help in the home, daycare services, or residential care services will free up some of your valuable time. This will give you more energy and may enable you to go on caring for longer. even if the person with dementia is initially upset about others becoming involved, they may well come to terms with the idea. The first experience of separation often makes caregivers feel guilty and unable to relax, but in time, you will probably both get used to the separation and will be able to see the benefits. For many caregivers, looking after a person with Alzheimer's is just one responsibility alongside many others, such as looking after their own family or having a job. It's easy to feel guilty if you are not giving total support to the person with Alzheimer's, but it's just as easy to feel guilty if you are not giving proper attention to your family or job. If family members, work colleagues, or the person with dementia resent your other commitments, this can easily add to your sense of guilt. Don't feel you have to meet every demand made of you, but discuss your commitments with your family and colleagues. Give them the space to voice how they are feeling, and work together to set priorities, agree on areas of flexibility, and discuss what other forms of support might be appropriate. It is easy to feel trapped if you are a caregiver, but there are certain situations that can be particularly difficult. Perhaps you want to continue with a full-time career rather than devote yourself to caring, but feel that it is selfish on your part. Perhaps your partner developed dementia just as you were about to end the relationship. It's important to talk this sort of dilemma through with a person outside the situation, such as a friend, psychiatric nurse, or counselor. They should be able to help you to reach a decision that feels right for you and to offer ongoing support whatever decision you make. Caregivers often feel that moving the person into a nursing home or a care facility is the ultimate betrayal. You may feel that you have let the person down or that you should have coped for longer. You may have previously promised the person that you would always look after them at home and now feel forced to break that promise. Talk this through with someone who understands and who can help you come to terms with your decision. Remember that promises were probably made in a completely different situation when you had no idea of all the strains and stresses that lay ahead. It may help to talk to other caregivers at a support group, but don't let others who are still caring at home add to your sense of guilt. Everyone's situation is different. To move to a care home doesn't need to mean that you give up your caring role completely. It is just a different way of caring. Your involvement can still be very important. Some caregivers feel that residential care helps them to have a better relationship with the person, as their time together can be more special, less stressful, and more like it used to be before the constant worry about practicalities. Visit as often as you can and make your visits meaningful. Bring photos and decorations to personalize the room and help make it feel more like home. Talk with the nursing staff to get regular updates and make suggestions if you think something can be done differently to make your loved one more comfortable. When mom begs you to stay longer or to come visit more often, it can feel like a real guilt trip, especially when busy schedules and distance makes visiting difficult, and when you know your visits are the highlight of her otherwise lonely existence. Yet trying to satisfy all the demands of work, family, and everything else will only stress you out and keep you from making the most of the time you have. Try to make the time you do spend together as meaningful as possible. You won't feel as guilty abandoning mom if you have someone coming on a regular basis whose company she enjoys and who can provide conversation, facilitate activities, help around the house, and provide transportation wherever she needs to go. It's pretty much a given that an aging parent will try your patience at one point or another. Family caregivers of an aging loved one with Alzheimer's who exhibits repetitive behaviors may find this is especially true. But there are more productive ways to handle impatience than to feel guilty. Patience typically wears thin when you are worn out and exhausted. If you feel like you are reaching the end of your rope, use it as a warning sign that you need to take a break. It is important to care for yourself and make sure you are getting enough rest so you can be at your best for your loved one. Put your energy into finding time for a break rather than dwelling on feelings of guilt. For example, getting the care receiver up in the morning, getting them dressed, preparing and feeding them breakfast, and then driving them to their doctor's appointment, and all must happen before 10 a.m. In addition, you have other things to accomplish that day. Now the care receiver is uncooperative, unhelpful, and moving slowly. Perhaps the care receiver refuses to use his walker even though he has fallen many times, and the doctor and physical therapist have emphasized its use. It is understandable that you would get impatient at times. Forgive yourself. When tired, frustrated, and trying to keep things under control, it is natural to want to speed up and have compliance from the care receiver to keep them safe and healthy. So first, slow down. Leave a lot of time to accomplish the required tasks. Control the environment as much as you can. Create a list of the things that you are in control of and not in control of. Understand what you can and cannot control. Putting your parents' needs before your own is a sign of love. As a caregiver, you are empathetic and compassionate. You understand and share the feelings of your parents. The mere capacity to understand or feel what your parent is experiencing from within their frame of reference and the ability to place yourself in their position makes you a wonderful caregiver. This is what makes you compassionate. You have a feeling of deep sympathy and sorrow for your parent who is stricken by misfortune, accompanied by a strong desire to alleviate their suffering. Empathy and compassion are an essential virtue and basic requirement to be an effective caregiver. You may feel it's your duty to devote all your time and energy to care for your parents the way they cared for you as a child. This is your chance to give back, and you don't want to feel selfish or let your loved one down by putting your needs before theirs. But you cannot ignore your own needs forever, and it is self-defeating to feel bad about indulging a little in yourself. The only way to sustain the love and care you feel your loved one deserves is to take good care of yourself. Remind yourself that you can be a better caregiver to your loved one when you get enough rest, eat healthy meals, and have a chance to attend to your own needs. Thank you for watching part 2. Be sure to watch part 3 where we discuss even more real-world situations and experiences. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and visit us online at okra.com for more great content.